Good evening everyone. So as compared to last two lectures of basic embedded computing system, today we are going to start with our first chapter, that is Introduction to Embedded Computing. So in detail, as we have seen everything about the embedded systems, today in this chapter we are going to study different concepts like embedded system design, characteristics of embedded computing applications, and the real-time system concept. So in detail we have seen everything about the embedded system in last two chapters, like that was the basic things which we are required to study the embedded system in detail. With that basics, we have also seen the microcontroller process or the microcontrollers, the microprocessors, in which we are going to embed this softwares and we are going to use it in any application of an embedded system. So let us see next is that embedded systems are used in a vast number of electronic devices, and their design involves both hardware and software techniques. As I told you earlier also, these kind of embedded systems are nothing but a combination of hardware and software, where you people also have number of projects carried out throughout the years, that each and every system is having some software based or some hardware based, but the components of the device which is consisting of both hardware as well as software is nothing but called as embedded systems. So as the technology that advances, that is the computer technology advances, its technology also becomes embedded in more and more electronic products. So as we have seen in our daily life as well, each and every product, each and every circuitry of an electronics is made up of an embedded system which is consisting of hardware as well as software products. So the capabilities provided by the embedded system enables the electronic equipment to have far greater capabilities than it would be possible if only hardware techniques were used. Means what literally is, if suppose we are going to design any application in which if it is supposed to use only the hardware part instead of using any software, would be the far possibility to take till the last, whether the software whatever you are going to use which makes a proper sense to that hardware is nothing but called as an embedded systems. So if that particular application is consisting of software and as well as hardware, it could make a proper sense, it could make a proper application which would long till the last. So as a result, embedded systems are found in all the manners of the electronic equipments and gadgets nowadays. For small amount of processing and electronic timers, a far more complicated embedded systems like game consoles. Now gaming consoles are nothing but nowadays whatever the children are using the equipments to play the games online. It is nothing but everything dependent on the embedded systems. And each and every major factory or the industrial systems, the automation systems are nowadays dealing with the electronics, and that is nothing but the embedded systems. The technique that gains its name from the fact that the software is embedded into a particular application. The embedded system is not like PC, as I told you earlier also. The embedded system is far different than a normal desktop PC or a normal mainframe, or you may call it as a laptop as well. So embedded system is far different, as well as the PC is totally different. Other computer that can run a variety of programs and fulfill a whole host of the tasks, but in embedded system we are going to use only one particular application or one particular software in which is embedded into that controller, and that particular controller will be able to control only one application for one particular task. So using embedded software is more focused on one particular task or one particular application. Now let us see in more detail about this embedded system basics. It may be asked all the time, why embedded systems or what is the embedded systems? As we have discussed everything in last lectures also, if you gone through my last two basics lectures, in that also I have explained everything about the controllers, everything about the processors. So many processors are based into the systems and computers. It is used to define the word embedded system. A convenient definition for an embedded system is, an embedded system is any computer system contained within a product that is not described as a computer. As I told you, again we are going to say the same thing, is that embedded systems are designed for the specific task. Although they use a computer techniques, embedded system is going to design only for a particular task, but to perform that task, the computer knowledge, the computer technique the embedded system is going to use, but those are not the general purpose computers. Those are only one particular task operated application systems. In their way, we are going to focus on to the need. Accordingly, we made cheaper and more efficient. So as we are going to run only one particular application, the system is going to become more efficient and the system is also going to become more cheaper. The software which is required for that embedded systems is normally referred to a word as firmware. Rather than being stored on a disk, that means in a computer system, if we need to add any software, what nowadays we are doing, earlier we used to load the system into the disk and the disk has to be inserted into the PC and then it has to be loaded, or nowadays we are using a USB port, or nowadays we are using the PDs, that is pen drives, to expect or to take that particular software into the PCs. But rather being stored on a disk where many programs can be stored. A single program of an embedded system is normally stored on a chip. What is the difference between embedded system and microprocessor, or general purpose computer, is that in a general purpose computer we are going to load all the data onto the disk, right? But in embedded system, for one particular application or for one particular program, we are going to embed that program onto a single chip, which is referred to as a firmware. Now the next slide we are going to see with the contents about all the upper things what we have seen right now about the embedded systems. Now we are going to see the embedded systems are going to contain two main elements. Embedded system contain two main elements. Which are those two main elements? As the definition of embedded itself says, embedded system is nothing but a combination of hardware and software. So these are only the two main elements of embedded system. The one is embedded system hardware and second one is the embedded system software. So let us see in detail about what do you mean by embedded system hardware. As with many electronic systems or with any electronic systems, an embedded system requires a hardware platform on which to run, right? For example, if you are going to take, we say that a girl is riding a bicycle, is it not? But how she is going to ride a bicycle? Unless and until she is going to have the bicycle, she cannot run it. Simultaneously, any application you want to run, if for example, if you decide that my robot is going to work now, so unless and until you are going to prepare that robot, unless and until you are going to have the hard copy of that robot, you cannot create that application, you cannot make that robot run, is it not? Only on a software a robot cannot be run. So for that purpose we need hardwares. So dependent upon the application, whatever you are going to use, the same wise that kind of platform has to be needed for the embedded systems. The second thing for the hardware is that it is based around a microprocessor or it is based around the microcontroller. The embedded system hardware will also contain other elements like, of course, the memory, the input output lines, where as well as the user interface and display. Right? So these are all the hardwares required. Now suppose if I need to use an LCD for one particular application, if I need to use a temperature sensor, or I need to sense the temperature of a room, is it not? To sense the temperature of that room, I need to write a code, is it not? So to write that code, I need, or to display that particular temperature, I should use a display unit, right? So that display unit is nothing but the code has been fetched from the memory. So a memory is required to store the code, and to get the input output access from that memory to the display, we need the input output lines. And when there is a connection between all these three things, that is the memory, input output lines and the display unit, finally you will be able to see the room temperature on the LCD display. So likewise, this is a system about the hardware. This is just one example I have been given to you all. Second thing we are going to see, when using an embedded system, there is a choice between the users, that you can use microprocessors or you can use a microcontrollers. Depending upon the user's application, depending upon the user's design, it can be decided whether to use microprocessor or to use microcontroller. So now we are going to see the microcontroller based systems. A microcontroller is essentially a CPU, that is a central processor unit. So when you are thinking the hardware to use a microcontroller based systems, this CPU or a processor with integrated memory or the peripheral devices is all the essential need of the microcontroller. As a fewer external components which are required needed to be embedded into that microcontrollers, right? That can be more trendy to use the microcontroller widely nowadays. Second thing we are going to see, microprocessor based systems. So microprocessor contains a CPU, but it is external chips for memory and peripheral interfaces. I have also told you all the difference between this microprocessor and controller in my basic embedded system lecture. So here even we can see the difference is that in microcontroller all the peripherals and the memory is been applied into the memory itself, in the controller itself, but in processor we need to use these kinds of system externally, it has to be connected. So as they require more devices on the board, but they are allowed for more expansion, right? As even though the boards is microcontroller board or microprocessor board is available, but to install all these things, the externally it has to be connected. So more expansion is required for this microprocessor. So this approach tends to be larger embedded systems. Nowadays what we are using, or what each and everyone is using the microphones, each and everyone is using the cell phones right now, right? So these kind of cell phones are basically very small cell phones, small in size. So small in size means each and every component, less external devices you need to install in it, is it not? If you are going to use nowadays no bulky items a customer is required to use. So if you are going to use a microprocessor, each and every device has to be connected externally, so the system is going to become bulky, the system is going to become large. If you consider microcontroller, the system is going to become compact, as each and every memory is already present inside the controller. This is the main difference between the embedded system hardware. Next, whatever type of processor is being used in the embedded system, whether it might be a very general purpose or one might be the very highly specialized processor, it does not matter. In some cases, the designed chips may be variable for a particular application if the quantity is sufficiently high. Means if each and every system is to be connected externally, each and every device is connected externally, obviously the system is going to become bulky, right? For one common example, if you see, there is a DSP, that is a digital signal processors, and this is a dedicated processor, a standard processor used for one common examples. So this type of processor is being used for processing audio and image files in particular applications. Therefore, the processing is required very quickly, and they may be used in applications such as mobile phones and likewise. So the processors nowadays, we see, if the Apple phone, if you consider, nowadays very advanced Apple phones are being into the market. So those Apple phones, whatever you are going to use right now, are having a very different kind of processing units, where it can be taken within fraction of seconds or within few minutes to apply one particular application, to run one particular application. So it also depends upon the controller, whatever you are going to use for that application, to run very quickly. Similarly, now we are also going to see what do you mean by embedded system software. The embedded system software is written into a particular platform. It is also written into a particular function format. Therefore, it is typically written in a high level format, and then it is being compiled or provided code that is being logged into a non-volatile memory within the hardware. We know, as now you all have been doing the projects, very small projects is also consisting of an embedded systems. So in that particular system, what we are using a controller in which we are dubbing the code, and that chip is been installed to that microcontroller board, or that microcontroller is being used one particular Arduino board. Suppose your particular application or your particular project is being used for that Arduino. So Arduino is a board where the microcontroller can be fitted easily and your application can be run, right? So this embedded system software is embedded into a small chip, and then it is being compiled from a non-volatile memory within the hardware systems. So basically, with the help of this embedded system hardware or with the embedded system software, there are some design tools how the system has to be run, how the embedded system is going to get it from the software to which kind of operation it has to be carried out. So let us see in detail about this design tools. Many embedded systems are complicated and require large level of software for them to operate. Developing this software can be time consuming, and it has to be very accurate for